UFC Fight Night De Ridder vs. Allen is here, taking place in Vancouver, Canada. In today's video, I'm going to give my full card predictions and breakdowns, starting with the early prelims and ending with the main event. Starting with the first fight of the night, we have Melissa Cronin taking on Tainara Lisboa. Lisboa is coming off a submission loss to Luana Santos, and Cronin is a local prospect who's making her UFC debut. On the feet, I think Cronin is better and just a more physical fighter overall, which always has an advantage in women's MMA, in my opinion. Now, there is a world where Cronin gets taken down and held there for 15 minutes because her grappling has not been tested at all. But without knowing what her grappling really is like, I think she's the better fighter here. Give me Cronin. Moving on, we have Aiemann Boakaya taking on UFC Bulgari. Aiemann is coming off a dominant TKO win over Ryan Loder, and Bulgari is making his UFC debut here. He's a Contender Series guy, and he's a fun prospect. He's big. He trains with Alex Pereira. But this is quite possibly the worst matchup the UFC could have given Bulgari. He should be fighting guys who are strictly strikers, and it would be fun matchups. They give guys layups all the time. Why could they not give Bulgari a layup here? Aiemann should be able to walk forward and just walk right through this dude. Start to finish. Give me Aiemann. I think he gets a KO here pretty easily. I don't know why the UFC made this matchup. Next up, we have Stephanie Luciano taking on Ravina Olivea. So Luciano is coming off a split decision loss to Sam Hughes, and Olivea is coming off a decision loss to Lisboa. This is two fighters that are pretty similar in their approach to fights. They're both good at the same things. The red flag here for me is the fact that Olivea hasn't fought in 2 years. The betting odds for this fight are probably wider than they should be, but I think Luciano's the better fighter, and she's just been the more active fighter. She's been involved with the sport. I don't know what Oliveira's been doing the past 2 years. Give me Luciano. This probably goes a decision. Who knows what can happen in women's MMA. Next up, we have Kyle Preple taking on Drew Dober. Preple, he's coming off a submission loss to Benoit Saint-Denis, and Drew Dober is coming off a TKO loss to Manuel Torres. In my opinion, this is the UFC giving Drew Dober a layup, man. He honestly kind of deserves a layup at this point. Drew Dober is clearly the better fighter here. Preple is not UFC level in my opinion. He's a regional level guy, and if Dober can't get a win here, if Drew Dober can't beat Kyle Preple, cut him. Cut him from the UFC. I like Drew Dober, man, but he has to get a win here. This is do or die for him. I hope he does, and I'm going to back Drew Dober. Give me Dober, and he really should be able to get a finish in this fight. It should be a layup. Drew Dober, please win. Moving on, we have Danny Barlo taking on Jordane Santos. Danny, left-handed guy, Barlo. He's coming off a TKO loss to Sam Patterson. And Jordane Santos is coming off a decision loss to Ozzy Diaz. We'll start with Jordane Santos. He might be the most mid fighter in the entire UFC. He's not great anywhere, but he's not really terrible anywhere either. He's kind of just okay at everything. Danny Barlo, on the other hand, he's a level above that, and he's a level above a guy like Jordane Santos, in my opinion. That loss Danny Barlo had to Sam Patterson, at the time, it didn't look good, and it was something that we could frown upon, but Sam Patterson's proven he's solid and he's a legit prospect. So at this point, that loss has aged pretty well for Danny Barlo. This is a close fight between these two guys, and Barlo has terrible striking defense. His hands are going to be at his hip the entire fight, so he could get caught. But I'm going to ride with Danny Barlo. I think he's a better fighter overall, and he should be able to finish a guy like Jordane Santos. Give me Danny Barlo. Moving on, we have Bruno Silva taking on Hyung-Sung Park. Bruno Silva, he's coming off a TKO loss to Joshua Van, and Park is coming off a submission loss to Tatsuro Taira. And just for clarity, because I know somebody out there is going to get confused, this is the small Bruno Silva, not the big Bruno Silva. And honestly, I think Bruno Silva might be a little underrated, man. He's good everywhere. And his losses are to legit guys. I'm pretty sure his last 2 losses are Manel Kopp and then obviously Joshua Van. Both very good. Joshua Van is about to fight for a title. Park, on the other hand, he's a clean striker, and he had a ton of hype going into that Tatsuro Taira matchup where there were a lot of people who believed in him. Obviously, he got exposed a little bit. Taira is very good, so it was just a bad matchup for him. But I don't really think he lost hype because of that loss. So like I said, Park's a good striker, clean. He likes to keep things clean. But honestly, I don't think he's any better than Bruno Silva. I can absolutely see a world where Bruno Silva gets in his face and makes this a dirty fight, which Hyung-Sung Park is really going to struggle with, in my opinion. The betting odds for this fight should be close to a pick'em. The line is way too wide. And I'm going to take the Bruno Silva side here, man. He's a pretty big underdog. But I can absolutely see his path to victory making it a dirty fight with Hyung-Sung Park, and I think Hyung-Sung Park is really going to struggle with that. I think Bruno Silva can control the pace, and he kind of dictates where this fight takes place. Give me Bruno Silva. Next up, we have Charles Jordane taking on Dangerous Davy Grant. So Charles Jordane, he's coming off a submission win over Victor Henry. And David Grant, on the other hand, is coming off a classic Davy Grant performance. He got the decision win over Damon Blackshear. Dangerous Davy Grant, man. This guy is just going to be in the UFC winning fights until he's 50 years old. It feels like at this point, Davy Grant should be like old and on his way out of the sport. But every time we start to question that, he goes out and he gets another win and proves everybody wrong. And honestly, in my opinion, at this point, if you are picking against Davy Grant, you're a madman, especially in a matchup like this. I think this is going to be another Dangerous Davy Grant masterclass where he gets it done against Charles Jordane. Charles Jordane, he keeps fights way too close. And Davy Grant is quite literally the worst person to do that with. If you let Davy Grant hang around in a fight, he's going to find a way to beat you. Mark my words. Give me Davy Grant. I'm done picking against him. Moving on, we have Kyle Nelson taking on Matt Fvola. Kyle Nelson, he's coming off a KO loss to Steve Garcia, and Fvola is coming off that disgusting KO loss to Fares Ziam where he was brutally kneed in the face. We've all seen that clip, and if you haven't, go look it up. Matt Fvola's coach literally set him up to get sent to the Shadow Realm. His coach said turn or something along the lines of turn into him. He turns into Ziam and just gets kneed through the face. It was a brutal watch. He turned into a meme for a while, but it's good to have Matt Fvola back, man. This is the fight on the card. Every card has a couple of these fights. I feel like this means absolutely nothing, but it's a fun fight and the people are going to enjoy it. That's what this fight is. These two are very close skill-wise, in my opinion. I just think Kyle Nelson's a little bit better in every aspect. I think he's a little sharper than Matt Fvola, and it sucks because I really like Matt Fvola. I just think Nelson's a little bit better. Give me Kyle Nelson, but either way, somebody is getting finished in this fight. That much is for sure. I'm taking Kyle Nelson. If you made it this far in the video, man, take a minute, like, comment, subscribe. We've been growing like crazy. Let's keep it rolling. With the next fight, we have Cody Gibson taking on A. This guy's name is A. I don't want to hear any slack in the comments. I don't know how to say that word. Cody Gibson versus A. Cody Gibson, he's coming off a submission loss to Damon Blackshear, where he looked really good in round 1, and then he absolutely shit the bed in round 2. And A is coming off a decision loss to Raul Rosas Jr. This is a fight between two guys who I think are a little better than they're getting credit for because of some of their losses. Cody Gibson specifically, he's a wishy-washy guy. Some days Cody Gibson looks legit and looks like he's going to be a real problem or a real prospect at some point in the sport. And then other days it's just like, meh, he's not going to be anything. In my opinion, Gibson has a clear path to victory here. If he uses his wrestling, I think he'll have a massive advantage there. And he should be able to dominate the fight. Give me Cody Gibson. Moving on to the main card opener, we have Manon Fiorot taking on Jasmine Judavicius. So Fiora is coming off a title fight where she lost to Valentina Shevchenko in a very close fight. Some people even gave it to her. Jasmine Judavicius, she's coming off a submission win over Jessica Andrade. This fight has title implications, so it actually means something, unlike Kyle Nelson versus Matt Fvola. And this is a classic striker versus grappler matchup. Jasmine, she's a very good grappler who comes forward, and she does a very good job of forcing the grappling. Like, she doesn't give you a chance to fight it off. She's going to push forward and make you engage in grappling whether you want to or not. If she can get this fight to the mat, she has an advantage. But, keyword if. Fiora, on the other hand, she's a very good striker who has shown she can defend takedowns. And what I like about Manon Fiorot is she's been physical when defending takedowns. It's not just like technical good stuff, but she has a physicality to her that, like I said earlier, I think that plays a massive role in women's MMA. I personally think Fiora can handle the takedown attempts and force this fight to be on the feet where she has a very big advantage. Give me Manon Fiorot. It's probably a decision, but we'll see. Next up, we have Marlon Cheeto Vera taking on Aiemann Zahabi. So Cheeto, he's coming off a decision loss to Davison Figueiredo, and Zahabi is coming off that disgusting decision win over Jose Aldo. I'm going to put this out there now. I'm biased against Zahabi. I'm not a Zahabi fan. And to be honest, I think he's a fraud. He should have lost that fight to Jose Aldo. Am I bitter about that? Yes. Do I do this with every single person who beats Jose Aldo? Yes. Deal with it. Aldo gassed out badly. The simple fact of the matter is, I don't think Aiemann Zahabi is that good. Cheeto Vera, he's proven time and again he's a level above some of these guys in the UFC. Even if he never has the belt, he's never going to not be one of the top contenders. I think he'll show that here again. I think Vera's going to do more work and do more damage to win this fight against Zahabi. Please beat Zahabi. I'm sick of him. I can't believe Jose Aldo went out like that, man. Give me Chito Vera. Next up, we have Kevin Holland taking on Mike Malott. Kevin Holland, he's coming off that gross loss to Daniel Rodriguez, and Mike Malott is coming off a KO win over Charles Radke. Somebody's definitely going to comment and be angry about how I said Malott. Kevin Holland, man, there's nobody in the UFC better at losing you money than Kevin Holland. If I sit here and I pick Kevin Holland to win, he's going to go out there and look like he's never stepped in the octagon before. If I pick against Kevin Holland, he's going to go out there and look like prime Anderson Silva and then make me look like an idiot. There's just no winning with this guy. This is a very close fight. It obviously depends on which version of Kevin Holland we're going to get. And I'm going to be an idiot and I'm going to back Kevin Holland, man. I think he gets a win here. I'm sure he'll burn me, but give me Kevin Holland. Last but not least, in the main event, we have Reinier De Ridder taking on Brendan Allen. So RDR, he's coming off that decision win over Robert Whittaker. And Brendan Allen is coming off that impressive performance against Martin Vettori. And I'll start with Brendan Allen. At times, this guy looks so good. But then his decision-making can just be awful. I swear, Brendan Allen has one of the worst fight IQs in the entire UFC. But when he's on, man, he looks really good. RDR, people are finally starting to believe that this guy is legit. I don't know why it's taking this long. I've picked RDR in every fight he's had in the UFC. They keep making him an underdog, and it's finally not the case. The biggest question here for RDR is, does this earn him a title shot? Obviously, this was supposed to be Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. That was going to be a banger fight, and the winner of that fight was guaranteed getting a title shot. Now this is a little more interesting. Either way, I think RDR deserves a title shot with a win here, but he's not going to get one over Imavov. So he's going to have to wait till after that fight. So in the meantime, they could give RDR another fight. But I don't even think it's needed if he wins here. Give me RDR. I think he's really good. And he may be the only guy who can actually challenge Khamzat Chimaev. The division needs Reinier De Ridder to win. I'm backing him to win. Brendan Allen's good, but he makes a lot of mistakes. I think De Ridder's going to be too big, too physical, and I think he's going to punish Brendan Allen. Give me Reinier De Ridder. If you made it this far in the video and you enjoyed, man, make sure you like, comment down below what you agree or disagree with. And let me know if we should keep doing these videos, man. Let's go.